Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I'm the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California, where my firm helps good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. In this video, I want to talk to you about Penal Code Section 451, arson. And when you're charged with arson, some things you should be considering to protect your future, to protect your freedom, and to protect your reputation. Now, arson is something that we think a lot. When we hear arson, someone in a field burning down a house, someone setting fire to a commercial building. We saw a lot about that in 2020 and 2021 with riots throughout the country and particularly in San Diego, the Mesa riots and some commercial structures that were burned to the ground, unfortunately, as a result of what started as protest and ultimately evolved into riots and chaos in La Mesa. And the thing to know about arson is that you don't have to be the sole cause of a structure burning. You don't have to be the primary cause of a structure burning. You just have to be one of any of the causes primarily to be stuck with an arson charge. And we saw that a lot when we were dealing with cases and representing individuals charged with the La Mesa riots and the arson of those commercial structures, where you could be 15 people in a building and one person's fanning the flames or throwing some paper or a little gasoline on there, and then they're charged with arson the same way the person who might have been the real ringleader of it, the same way the real person might have been who could have burned that building down in and of itself. But what's important when you're charged with arson, whether you're accused of it individually or as part of a larger group, is that you don't just accept that as fact and as reality and as your fate, that, I'm going to be punished the same. Because just because a case can be proven against you, assuming that's the case, doesn't necessarily mean you will, and certainly doesn't mean that you should be punished the same way as someone who's a more primary or a substantial cause of the structure burning. And we've had a lot of success with that over the years, bringing in an arson investigator to look at it and say, hey, that building would have gone up or gone down with or without your client. And to look at it, and then you compare when you have, especially commercial structures, you look at the timing of when the call came in. If there's surveillance video, when you're on that surveillance video, if at all, when the building was deemed a total loss, what was going on afterwards. We had a case where client seriously was good for the arson, but we were able to resolve that case for probation and kept that client out of prison primarily by looking at the timeline of events on something known as a CAD report, CAD, where it talks about when radio calls come into law enforcement, and it talked about how Molotov cocktails were being thrown at that building an hour and a half after our client had already left, and we had documentation of that. So just because you're charged with arson, just because you may have been a part of a structure burning, whether a residence or a commercial, doesn't mean that all hope is lost. Doesn't mean that you're going to get punished or should be punished the same way as if you were the sole person or the primary cause of it. A lot of that, though, has to do with how you handle your business, what, if anything, you say to law enforcement, what, if anything, you're posting on social media, and who, as a law firm, you choose to be there with you and for you, protecting your interests, protecting your future, protecting your freedom. So if you find yourself charged with arson under Penal Code Section 451 or anything of the like in San Diego, reach out to a firm like ours. We're one phone call away, 619-295-3555.